Hi guys, EBPMAN here. More and more of us are cutting the cord, which means we're really eliminating the use of cable and dish and other providers when it comes to media. This box from DroidBOX gives you the ability to consume all of your media content from the web. This is the DroidBOX T8-S Plus. Let's check it out. Now, there are several things that set this Android box apart from all the boxes that I've seen in the market. First of all, we'll take a look at that this Android box does have its own marketplace, also has a box or cloud service, and has the ability to share with multiple devices. And you're not limited to Android devices. This will also cross to iPhones, iPads as well. So really giving you a lot of flexibility. As we discussed, this is an Android TV box that can serve as a mini PC, also as an IPTV, and it also has 32 gig of RAM. Now, taking a look at some of the features that are highlighted here, it's an XBMC media center that also has Kodi on it, and we're going to show you what this means in a couple seconds. But really, Kodi is, I would say, one of the best media player solutions out in the market. It's a media center. It allows you to bring all your content together. That's music, that's picture, that's video, all in one place. This also supports OpenELEC. So this is a Linux operating system where you could boot either into Android 5.1 or into OpenELEC, which is going to be a lighter version of an operating system that will take you right into Kodi so that you can have the fastest possible experience without any overhead. It does run Android 5.1, which is upgradable, and the folks from DroidBOX are continually maintaining and upgrading this box, which is also a big difference from what I see from this Android box and several others. So it has Android 5.1, which means you can run Netflix, you can run HBO Go, you can run YouTube, you can run literally any application that you're running on your current phone on this box. This box also supports VPNs, which is really good, especially if you're downloading content and you're in a city or a country where you want to get content from somewhere else. So Android 5.1 plus VPN connectivity, which we're going to see in a couple minutes, everything is included. It does support two bands, that's 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, which is really important because depending on your home and how much speed you have on your network provider, you may want to be able to take advantage of the 5 gigahertz band, and that's definitely something of benefit. And then lastly, it's a 4K Ultra HD output. If you have the content, it will output it in 4K. Now, the unit that we're looking at today comes with the VIP remote. But there are other options. You could use the DroidBOX that comes with this type of controller, or you could do the DroidBOX B52. Once again, a lot of flexibility based on what your needs are, and we'll look at this specific unit in the box. Now, inside the box, you're going to find your remote control, HDMI cable, an international power adapter with a US converter, a user guide, the DroidBOX, and a series of screws. Now, these screws are really important because this DroidBOX has the ability to be upgraded and to support up to a 2 terabyte internal drive. You heard it, 2 terabytes of internal storage via a solid state or a standard drive. We're going to take a look at that as we review the specs of the unit, but this gives this box an enormous amount of capacity. Now, taking a closer look at the specs, one of the things I'll just highlight from the very beginning is that this is probably one of the most durable and well-constructed Android boxes that I've reviewed to date. It has an aluminum case, cooling, and it's just very well constructed. It runs Android 5.1, but also it's dual booting to OpenELEC as well. It does have a quad-core processor as well as a GPU, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 32 gig of storage, 3 USB slots. It does support OTG, and it has an SD and an MMC slot. As we talked about earlier, and makes this box really stand out, it could support internally a 2.5 laptop size SATA drive up to 2 terabytes, solid state and standard, and supports both bands, including gigabit connection over Ethernet. Has the audio outputs, HDMI, everything that you'd expect, and supports multiple formats all the way up to 4K. Taking a look at the box now, and we'll zoom out just a bit, what you'll find here is that you have in the front a little LED that's going to show you when you power it up. On the side, you have the expansion slots for storage that we talked about. Again, supporting OTG as well. A reset button. Here we have our power, our Ethernet, HDMI, composite with optical out. There isn't anything on this side, but this is also an area where I'm really excited. This is your hard drive expansion. So what you can do is, again, put a SATA hard drive here, solid state, and the screws that you saw are used to mount onto the surface. So you would mount your hard drive, connect it, plug it in, and now you have a 2 terabyte media server. Again, really highlighting that this is a media gateway able to store enormous amount of content and media to share in your entire household. Now on boot up, what you'll be encountering is a very well organized desktop, and we're going to talk about each one of the elements that we see on the screen. Now in order to perform the movements, I'm going to be using this remote. Now this remote here is the included remote that we saw. It does have a lot of media center controls. It has, play, pause functions. It has smart functions that allow you to jump to certain areas without having to navigate through the menu. It has the standard navigation as well as the number keypad as you'd expect. It also has this little cursor function that allows you to use the remote as a mouse using these pads. For now, we're going to be using just the controls to move around. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to just take a look at the desktop area here, so you can see some of the things that you could do and how this separates the DroidBOX from the rest. So now as we are navigating around and you're using your remote, make sure that it's pointing towards the box to make sure that the remote is picking up your navigation and controls. So at the very top here, this is going to really invoke the media center functionality, which we're going to go into in a couple seconds. But I wanted to highlight some of the things that set this apart. As you can see on the bottom right hand corner, you do have, and you can see that right around here, you have everything that has to do with your storage capacity, your CPU processing capacity, memory, everything that's going on. You do also then have the ability to see the Android marketplace. So this is your Google marketplace, giving you access to an enormous amount of content. You then have several icons here that are specific to the DroidBOX. And let's go into this one first so you can see. You have a YouTube helper. And with the YouTube helper, what I like about this and what really makes it easy for the average consumer is that you have so much information from a tutorial perspective that it's going to show you literally how to use the solution. It works right out of the box, but if you want to go deeper and you want to do more, this is your YouTube helper. You also have a how-to area, and the how-to area is kind of gives you the ability to see what's going on. It's kind of almost like an internal browser, articles, questions, and forums. Fix it very fast, quick things that you could do to just fix something. So cleaning up, resetting coding, if Kodi isn't starting, what you can do to get it fixed. You do have also support capabilities, so you can request support. And the neat thing about the support with this solution is that they can actually not only help you over the phone, but they can also navigate and control your DroidBOX and solve it for you. So instead of you trying to explain what's going on or going through things, they can see what's happening and they can assist you. You do have registration capabilities, and you then also have the ability to look at a log file. Now the next area that we'll look at is its marketplace. So just as you have the Google marketplace, you also have a DroidBOX marketplace, and here you're going to find a lot of content. So you're going to be able to look at, as you can see here, either channels, content. It's broken up into all those categories. Anything that you're looking for, additional applications to get media, you'll be able to find it here. Now this last function on this on this row is your sharing functionality. So what you do is by selecting this, it's going to give you the IP address so that you can share with your either your iPad or your Android device. You do have on the bottom here kind of how many resources or of the utilities are being used on your box, and by simply clicking on it, what you have is the ability is to kind of refresh and close things. So you notice that as I'm clicked it once, it actually reduced the amount of overhead that's being used by the device. Now you do have, if you want to go into the apps that are pre-installed, these are all the apps that come with, so you have everything that you need in order to start consuming content right out of the box. And one of the things I just wanted to highlight is that it does come already with a VPN solution, and VPNs really open up the world of content. It's something that it comes with IPVanish, but it does support PIA, HMA, as well as other VPN solutions, and that's also a big differentiator with this box, because sometimes depending on where you are in the world, you will find that your local local provider may block certain content, and the VPN is the way around that as well. You'll notice that there's Kodi, Google Maps, everything that you would expect to find inside of a Android phone or tablet is also found here. Now what I'm showing you is one of the apps that comes pre-installed, and this is Film on TV. You notice on the left side there is a lot of channels. You can choose any of these channels and the content is just going to start streaming immediately. So there's nothing to configure. All you have to do is open it up, choose the channel that you want, and then you're set to go. Now, the other thing I wanted to highlight is the diversity of content that you have. So, depending on what part of the world you're in, you can get content in your local language regardless of your need. So, as you can see, a lot of TV stations that you can choose from. You could look at a specific category. You can look at also specific lifestyle type information, food and wine, education. Again, a really wide variety of content. Now the next thing we're going to do is let's take a look at some of the Media Center capabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on DroidBOX Media Center. And what that's going to launch is Kodi. And you notice how quickly Kodi launched. It's a very fast application, especially on a box like this. This is your Media Center. Now, there are several add-ons that you can add onto this Media Center that is going to give you a wide range of content. So this is a blank slate when it comes to Media Center capabilities. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to configure this Media Center just to give you a sense of what you can get. And there are a lot of videos on YouTube on how to configure Kodi that I encourage you to read up on. And there's also a Kodi website that you could go to. But all you have to do is literally just launch this application and then configure it rather easily. And I'm going to do that, and then you'll see what you can get. So now this process just took literally no more than 2 minutes to set up. There are several different type of plugins that are available, or add-ons. This is just one of the add-ons that are available on the internet from several places that you'll find on websites. And I ran it, and it transformed my Kodi to provide even more content. Just to give you a sense, there are several different type of add-ons. One of my favorites is the Exodus type plugin, and this plugin will give you access to really what I consider a cord cutter's, I'd say, dream come true. So I'm going to choose, let's say, returning TV shows as an example. And what it's going to do is it's going to search the internet for this content for returning TV shows, if there is anything that it can show. The same thing is going to be true for the most popular TV show. So I can choose that, and it will basically go to find out what's out there that is available for you to see. Now, as you can see here, these are all the TV shows that are currently available, and all you have to do is go to the specific content, select it, and it will not only give you season information, but it's also going to give you the specific episodes, and it is very well organized, very well with chapters, as you can see here, for every season, and it's just incredibly responsive. So this is where you're really going to break through and really have that cord cutter experience with Kodi, as well as several of the other apps that are available on the DroidBOX. All right, now that you've seen the Android side of how the DroidBOX works, let's go ahead and we're going to try the OpenELEC side. So we're going to go ahead and choose this. Remember, this is the light version of the operating system, but still with Kodi. So you'll notice right now that it's kind of shutting down, and you see OpenELEC appearing on the screen, and the system is going to reboot. And it's going to reboot in a light version of the operating system where Kodi is the only thing that will be available. Now, once the OpenELEC operating system is loaded, what ends up happening is you're introduced into this tutorial, or this walkthrough, just to get this system now set up. You'll also notice that on the background that the Kodi that has appeared is kind of a virgin installation. Remember, we updated the one in Android so that it had all the add-ons, and that didn't carry over, so this is a total different instance. So after the setup, which all it was really just setting up my Wi-Fi, I went ahead and configured Kodi using one of the add-ons that I prefer, as you can see here on the screen. So this is really set out to consume all the media I need and how I like to consume media in my home. So very fast, much faster than running it on Android, but also still giving you the ability that you need to stream all the content that you'd like to stream. Now, if you ever want to go back to the Android version of the experience, all you have to do is go down to the bottom right hand corner, select the power button that's there, and then choose switch back to Android. And now what's going to happen is the unit itself is going to reboot, and you'll notice the same startup process as you saw when you were starting up for the first time, or when you power it on, and it will just go through the startup, and then it will launch into the DroidBOX desktop that we saw a couple seconds ago. Now we're back to the Android experience, and what I wanted to show you is a couple things that you see here. You can actually have multiple pages. So here, for example, is a media section. You could come over here, this is a gaming section, and then you have the standard desktop. You also have the ability to configure my favorites, so that favorite area where I have those two apps, you can add apps simply by clicking on the plus and minus. So that's adding and removing. And then you also have, because this is running Android, you do have the Android standard setup area. So this is where all your settings are, and you can configure everything from adding Bluetooth devices like Bluetooth keyboards, Bluetooth mice if you'd like. You could even add a camera to this too for Skyping, and if that's something that interests you. So this concludes my in-depth review of the DroidBOX Multimedia Gateway. If you have any comments or questions about this product, leave it in the comment area below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and as always, don't forget to share and subscribe.